Converge, please bring in the dean of the class, the best voice in radio, Mr. Tony B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Trey, Omari, what's happening, Mike? Good to see you.
What's up, Tony?
Giving you love from over here, man. All the air hugs. Tony B.
Always, all the time.
and you know the thing is we kept Tony B waiting. And I'm not saying that because he's definitely not a diva or anything like that, but it's just like all respect due. That's the one guy who comes on there like sometimes we'll keep the mayor waiting or something. Like, yeah, okay. But Tony B, we're like, man, we got to get him on precisely. So my apologies, brother, for the few minutes delay here. Why don't you tell us what's going on this week at Rainier Avenue Radio?
Well, cool. As always, let me first start by congratulating you and the Converge team on the work that you're doing in our communities. You know, sometimes that dirty laundry is hanging up on the clothesline. If anybody ever remembers the clothesline, I don't know. That's a long time ago. But yeah, this week in Black History Month, we're going to be celebrating with a number of different events, just like we've been doing all month. Starting on Tuesday at 5:30, tune in for Conversations in Black with Tina Marie. We'll be talking with Mario Bailey, who's the Director of Legends and Player Community Engagement, and Walter Thurman III, former Seahawk player, Super Bowl champion, about blacks in football. And we'll take a historical look at the contributions of African Americans to, I think NFL is now America's pastime. It might still be baseball, but I think football has overtaken them. That's at 5:30. Then at 7:30, we'll be coming to you live from the historic Columbia City Theater, Kuyate Arts West African dance, music, song. So it's going to be a combination of traditional drumming, dance, and singing. That's Tuesday at 7:30. And y'all know that we celebrate this like continually. So on Wednesday, we'll have our Vivian Phillips is going to be on as part of our Seattle Black History Makers. And for anybody who's under that's the dean. That's she was. I'm gonna take some folks way back. KYAC Soul Radio. That's gonna take some people back, and a lot more since then as well. Vivian will be joining us on Wednesday. You don't want to miss. And she's done a number of things now that you know her for, but her legacy is absolutely remarkable. Then on Wednesday evening, we'll be having our part 2 update for the town hall meeting to discuss the violence in the Rainier Beach Safeway parking lot, what's being done, an update from the last meeting. Of course, it's an open forum discussion, so we're inviting all community members to call, participate. You can join by Zoom. You can call us. This week, it's going to be a little different. We'll be pushing more information out. We have elected officials this time, as opposed to exclusively pretty much just members of our community. So Council Member and President Lorena Gonzalez, King County Council Member Gramai Zahi Lai. In addition to that, a representative from the police department, again, someone from the Safeway store, and we'll also have the owner of the liquor store, which again, it's not just cut and dry when you're taking a look at things that are taking place. We'll have the owner of King's Donuts, and then we also have the property owner who will be there as well. So that's Wednesday. If you want to find out, and if it's happening in Rainier Beach, it connects all of our South Seattle communities because there's no line, that says once you get to Rose Street or something, you're no longer impacted. In the fact that everybody does this, everybody communicates with each other, so everybody get involved. And then later on Wednesday night,
Tony.
Yes, sir.
Tony, if I can just jump in here real quick. And just real quick, Mike Davis, because Tony's breaking down the calendar. But, man, this is a real important conversation. I mean, amongst very other important conversations that Tony B is having, because that Safeway parking lot, I'm on quite a few email threads there where it's like, they want to revoke the liquor store's license, but he has 2 businesses next to him that also sell liquor. But is the liquor store really the cause of the issues there, or is it other causes? And then he's the scapegoat. Like, this is an ongoing thing. Just real quick, Mike Davis.
Man, hey, I'm going to be honest, too. Oh, you caught me slipping because I'm looking in my email because as Tony's talking, I'm thinking I was supposed to cover this group of moms, man. There was some moms who put together an event in that Safeway parking lot promoting nonviolence. and they were trying to like do barbecues and have music and actually just go out there and talk to the youth. You know, these are mothers whose kids were impacted. And bro, you cut me off before I found the email so that I can name their organization. But you're absolutely right, man. That Safeway parking lot, man, somebody got to do something. So I'm so glad that, Tony, you're having that conversation. And, you know, offline, I really would like to send you the link to these moms, because I think that they should be a part of that as well.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody should be a part of it. And I will say this now, I certainly hold our elected officials accountable, because folks vote for them. But I also think it is incredible that the members of our community step up and try to fill the gaps in the safety net. And so when you do hear these negative things about South Seattle and crime and violence, you know, that tends to stand out because it's sensational. But that's why we try to make sure that we expose a number of different things and amplify a number of different diverse voices on Rainier Avenue Radio, because there are incredible things that happen in our community. And once again, this is just one of those times where that dirty laundry may be aired out on the clothesline, but some people don't know. And so you put it out in the air and they start to sniff and smell it and go, what is that? That's funky. That stinks, you know, and begin to get involved. And so certainly, Mike, yeah, there are a number of different groups that have stepped up from a community level to try and find a number of different ways to resolve this very nuanced and complex issue from a very diverse community. And so part of what has to happen is people need to make sure that they hear other opinions, because there are a lot of opinions about how to deal with this, what to do with this. It's not a silver bullet. It's not one simple answer.
Right. And I'm sorry, did Trey have something there?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just like Mike said really quickly, I have been on email threads about this and trying to support as much as possible. But I think, Tony B., you're absolutely right with regard to people being educated on the issue at all spectrums, and really being involved. Stepping up to the plate is necessary right now. Right.
And one thing, I just want to, because some people put it in the chat, Friday evenings around 6 is when those moms are usually out there. But I really think that that's important to add to that larger conversation that Tony's having, because sometimes, and look, I'm not saying all white folks, but I've had plenty of conversations with white folks, and they talk about black on black violence. And there's this false narrative like it's okay with us, when really it's not. We step up as black people. We do so much for our communities to heal our communities ourselves. So it's really important to get groups like that in front of the politicians so that they can understand that, no, we care about this just like everybody else needs to care about this.
Yeah.
You see, Tony B., you touched the nerve, man. What else do you have going on after Wednesday, or later on that evening, Wednesday, actually?
Later on that evening, Bob Lovelace and friends will be performing. Bob is a musician that plays with a number of different bands, and incredibly talented bass player, plays the banjo, plays a number of different things. He's got 4 friends with him who are phenomenal musicians as well. So it'll be kind of a blues rock jam session. That'll be Wednesday night at 8:00, and again, coming from the historic Columbia City Theater. Then on Thursday, John Yasutake, who a number of folks have known in our community. He is our community elder. He'll be hosting a series of readings with a few different folks and poetry to celebrate African American Heritage Month. Also on Thursday, from our Seattle Black History Maker series, we'll be showcasing Elmer Dixon, who will be telling his story. If people don't know about Elmer's story, just really please tune in for that. Omari Tahar Garrett will be sharing his story, and then Eddie Rye Jr. So these are some of the folks who are Seattle Black History Makers. That's all on Thursday. And then on Friday, it don't stop. You know, we keep going through the whole week. Again, as part of our Seattle Black History Makers series, Dawn Mason, the first, not only just woman, but first black person elected as to the legislature. Rosa Franklin was in the Senate at the time, and Dawn became the first black person elected to the House. She'll be joining us along with Bernie Foster. Oh, I'm sure who you know from the Scanner, and part of that incredible period of time when Black media thrive when you had KYAC, and there was all these resources on the air, and all these resources that were starting up through print magazine. And I harken back to Freedom's Journal, the first African-American newspaper, with the simple line that said, "Too long have others spoke for us." And that is what's happening now with what's going on. Trish, Melanie Zyko, also one of our Seattle Black History makers, will be joining us. Friday's packed. And then on Friday, also the Hartsfield Family Slave Quilt Collection. So if you don't know about quilting, or you're not sure about slave quilts and what they were, they have codes embedded in them. Some of them were to guide runaway slaves to safety. Some of them were just more simple things to share with members of the community, and they did this in silence to share information. White academia doesn't believe that this took place, but as y'all know, in the Black community, oral traditions are how things are often passed down, which is why we have these Seattle Black history makers, so we can get their word on the archive so that folks can go back and listen to them. But the Hartsfield Black slave quilt collection is phenomenal. Check it out. Hear the stories and hear from the gentleman who owns the collection. So if you're unfamiliar, you definitely want to check that. If you're into quilting, you're really going to dig this. And then again on Friday, we're going to have our first workshop for the film Black Family Film Night. We'll be talking about the sales and distribution of films. Anthony Tackett is going to be hosting that. He'll have a panel. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll be showing our film. This film is Change in the Family. It's a Sam Hampton film, and it's essentially how a Black family is dealing with a member of the family coming out as transgender and gender nonconforming. And so we show a variety of different films, try to, again, provide a wide perspective. And then we'll finish the week off on Saturday with the rap performance by Nobi and friends. And that's at noon. You remember American Bandstand? We're not doing it at night. We're doing it in the daytime. And that'll be at noon. So that's next week's calendar. Thank y'all for giving the opportunity for me to share this information again with our community. We want to provide a wide breadth of experience. And the hope is that folks will tune in and they'll go, hey, I like this. I don't have to wait until February to expose myself to the breadth of culture and the part of the Black experience. It's civil rights is important. Slavery is important. But our day-to-day existence, is not one monolithic thing. We are a very diverse group of individuals. And all of that factors into our Black American history, which is, of course, American history.
Well, I'll tell you this, Tony B., the dean of the class, there's absolutely nobody, at least on this kind of similar platforms, that interviews and talks to more people than Tony. I wish I could keep up with it. I don't know what the secret. I know what the secret is. It's commitment. You know what I'm saying? It's and you've been committed. Tony B., thanks so much for joining us. Real quick, what's the website everybody can get you at?
Oh, RainierAvenueRadio.world. That's RainierAvenueRadio.world. Download the app, and then you don't have to worry about which format you can find us on. You can just go to the app, and that'll solve all your problems. Mike, Trey, keep up the great work. Great stuff you guys are doing here and bringing these issues to light. Just really quickly, I remember a conversation someone was having with me where they disagreed with some of the things that we were saying. And it was great to point out that at least there was that option that now you have Black media to agree with or disagree with, because there should be that option. We don't always have to agree on everything, but for our voices not to be heard and the only messaging you get from mainstream media and you don't hear these things, that's the issue. So, we'll strive for unity. We'll strive to get together. But the reality of the way the world works is it's good to hear voices, and everyone's not always going to agree, but, we can figure out how to work together despite those disagreements. We're going to have to.
There it is. It's always great to hear your voice, Tony B. We're going to take a short break right